Hey everyone, what's going on? It's your boy Bat, and welcome to another video. Today we're having a discussion about Naruto Road to Ninja and the power of its villain Menma, which is an alternate universe version of Naruto. Now, to get started, most of this film takes place in an alternate timeline that the Akatsuki is using as a plan to contain Naruto and capture the Nine Tails prior to the Blue Arc. To make this make a bit more sense as an audience member and to cut out the mystery, let's just break down this alternate timeline present in the film and just go down the information that we've been shown. The Warring States period may have had its own version of Madara Uchiha similar to the Canon anime timeline. However, he did not make himself as well known if he does exist. Whenever we see the Konoha teens in the film, they act as if Madara does not exist. However, Tendo Pain still has his Rinnegan. So either Madara gave Nagato the eyes, then died, or Madara in the film's timeline has kept himself in complete secrecy ever since his early clashes with Hashirama. Either interpretation is equally possible given the information that we have. It keeps it very vague as to what happened with the early Uchiha. Next, moving on, we don't get much information about the other Kage in this timeline, but what we do know is that Minato was not the fourth Hokage. He did not reach the rank of Hokage within his lifetime that we know of, and it was in fact Sakura's father, Kizashi Haruno, who was the fourth Hokage, even though Minato is still referred to as the Yellow Flash. Sakura's father, Kizashi, and his wife, Nabuki, became heroes to the village when they died attempting to seal the Nine Tails back within Kushina, stopping Obito's attack. It is important to note that we do not have much on-screen context for the night of the Nine Tails attack, despite it being one of the events most significantly changed logically, just because we know that Minato and Kushina both lived past these events, and Menma, according to Tenten's Tsukiyomi dream, was past the Nine Tails without Kushina dying. So even in this scenario, without Tobi's limited Tsukiyomi intervention, Menma likely succeeded in getting 100% of Kurama's chakra at some point during his childhood, before being consumed by Obito's hatred and being forced to leave the village later on due to the limited Tsukiyomi. Now, back in the main timeline, the movie opens up with the Konoha main cast fighting against the Akatsuki, but it quickly becomes clear that these are not the actual Akatsuki, but it is just Zetsu in disguise, as there are members present who have already been killed, such as Pain and Kakuzu. This is immediately acknowledged by Kakashi and Tsunade, and it was all just Zetsu and Obito trying to get them together and get the Naruto and Sakura aspect of the plan aligned. They want them separated from the rest of the Konoha teens, from the Hokage and everything, so that way they can hit them with a seal and get them under the limited Tsukiyomi in order to successfully extract Kurama. Shortly after the fight with the Akatsuki, they are successfully trapped within the Jutsu, and later in the film, Kakashi confirms that it is not a Genjutsu, rather, but it is actually a variation of teleportation. They think that it is a form of Genjutsu because, well, it's called Tsukiyomi, and, well, it seems like it's just an illusory world, but by the end of the movie, it seems like it definitely is its own world, with its own version of Menma that was a good boy who was just corrupted by Obito's plan. The anime also, implies this because there was a Road to Sakura anime episode, which happens around 70 episodes-ish before the movie's prologue. So in this episode, anime canon Sakura switches timelines with the Road to Ninja Sakura for one episode, meaning that even prior to this movie, the Road to Ninja timeline was its own existing verse that existed separately from the main Naruto timeline, and then at certain points they had interacted and crossed over. The movie and the prologue episode both showed that Obito was watching Naruto for at least a day prior to the events of the film, as during the prologue episode you see Naruto having visions of the other timelines of Finch, such as seeing the other version of Sasuke, on top of Obito showing that he was spying on Naruto, even in the manga adaptation of the prologue. Obito is seemingly using the combined powers of the Tailed Beast through the Crystal Ball in order to reality warp the Road to Ninja timeline. Given how the other characters react upon seeing Naruto and how Menma looks in Tenten's Tsukiyomi dream, I believe that this timeline had a good version of Menma for years, until Obito got rid of him and replaced him completely with Naruto. However, Obito then caused further distortion and brought in an evil version of Menma by essentially taking the normal good version of Menma and corrupting him and making him his new Madara. This would give him a vessel to control the aspects of this timeline, even though he can't completely control Menma's actions. He can at least use him as a tool to supplant his will in the Road to Ninja timeline. All of this information, however, would also mean that the Akatsuki, or at least Obito and Setsu, with prep time and some equipment, can perform a feat themselves that is on a similar level to an Otsutsuki, as they are having domain over an actual physical, tangible dimension that they actually send Naruto and Sakura to. In this alternate world, Naruto and Sakura find themselves in a Konoha that is the opposite from what they know, seemingly. Here they encounter their family and friends, but with significant differences. For example, Naruto's parents, Minato and Kushina, are still alive and well, while Sakura's parents are dead, and are considered to be the heroes of the village that stopped the Nine-Tails attack but died in the process. Sasuke is still in the village, but instead of being in love with Sakura in secret, he is an open playboy that flirts openly with all of the girls of Konoha. As they search for a way out of this world, they encounter an alternate version of their friends and foes, including a mysterious boy that is later revealed to be named Menma. Menma is the main antagonist of the film, and he shares the same name as the ramen ingredient that Naruto despises, as well as Naruto himself is referred to as in this universe. This is all symbolic. Naruto at the beginning of the movie is having ramen at the ramen shop, and they are out of Naruto fish cakes, and instead they offer him a helpful amount of Menma. Naruto is angry and rejects this Menma, and this happens while Obito is watching over him, causing this alternate version of him to potentially be named Menma, or it is just all a complete coincidence and his name was always Menma. We don't really know for sure, but it's important to note that because that does happen in the movie, and it is kind of related to the theme of Menma's story. Menma is a powerful character that is exclusive to this movie, and of course he would be powerful since he is an alternate version of Naruto. He's a skilled ninja who possesses the full power of the Nine-Tails, which would make him incredibly powerful. But his power would later hurt the world that he loved, because as a teenager, his timeline would be corrupted by Obito's limited Tsukiyomi, and his position in life in his regular timeline would be disrupted, and it would be replaced with our canon Naruto, and he would be turned into the villain that would later have to strike down his own father. Not death, rather, but at least strap him with all of his chakra, and probably was going to be willing to kill him. This corrupted version of Menma is the one that we see as the antagonist of the film, and was originally born as a good version of himself. And this movie has to hinge on two certainties: that there is an alternate version of the timeline where Menma can exist, and that Obito can interact with it if he has prep time, so that way he can manipulate Menma into becoming his new Madara. We see that this new Menma that is controlled by Obito slightly, given that he has the dark hair, has an ambition similar to Orochimaru, as he has left the Leaf and has traveled the world to gain forbidden jutsu at Kekkei Genkai, before being confronted by Tobi's ghostly form and joining his scheme for a full-on assault on Konoha. However he implanted these Kekkei Genkai within himself is really unknown, but it can be assumed that some of his abilities that we see in the film, such as his nine-masked beast summonings, or his gravity manipulation that he does that are similar to the Rinnegan, may have actually been stolen Kekkei Genkai or forbidden jutsu that he took from another village, clan, or something like that in the Narutoverse that we just don't know about. Tobi and Menma, from this point forward in the story, are ostensibly on the same side, while the Akatsuki are soon going to switch sides in order to assist the Leaf in saving Sakura from Obito and Menma. Seeing that in this timeline the Akatsuki is still formed, including a Tendo Pain and Itachi, but they are not seemingly gathering the Biju for the Moon Eye plan. They are seemingly wandering mercenaries, shifting their morality to aim themselves and gaining ninja capital. The finale of this film is honestly one of the best parts of it. You get to see an epic battle with Menma's 9 masked beasts versus most of the Akatsuki members, except for Itachi, who at the time is saving Sakura from Obito, which leads to a very interesting character interaction. We get to see that Itachi and Obito are talking, and Itachi's trying to save Sakura, and Obito is in his intangible ghost form that is similar to his normal Kamui state. And Itachi says, based on your physical appearance, I don't think our physical attacks will work, but that doesn't mean I'm out of options. He then turns on his Sharingan, and Obito says, Itachi Uchiha, the man who can burn flames itself. How troublesome you are, or something like that. And then Kamui's away, kind of indicating that Obito, even one that is post-Conan fight, that is preparing for the war arc, is scared of Itachi? Now, this could maybe be a stronger Itachi, but we'll get into that. You see, the Akatsuki in this universe either existed long prior to the the limited Tsukiyomi, rather, same as the variant versions as Sasuke, Hinata, and Choji, and are relative to their anime canon counterparts as they've gone through similar life events, such as Tendo Pain still obtaining the Rinnegan and Itachi having DMS, or they are based on Naruto and Sakura's memories of their strength, and only the people they have fought would be accurately scaled to the timeline. This could be the case as Obito was watching over Naruto and Sakura for 24 hours at least prior to the film in order to form the Road to Ninja timeline to his will so that way he could possibly successfully trap them. If this did affect the Akatsuki, which I don't believe it does, but there is an interpretation in which it could. If this did affect the Akatsuki, then it would mean the only people that would be accurately scaled would be people like Pain, Kakuzu, Hidan, characters that have actually been fought and defeated prior to this, that where their strength would be known. Characters like Itachi, Minato, characters like that Naruto doesn't have an accurate depiction of their strength at this point in the story, may not be able to accurately scale. But I think that the Akatsuki in this timeline have existed for a long time prior, as it seems like everyone kind of knows who they are whenever they show up in the story, including characters from Konoha itself. If Obito also formed the Akatsuki in the Road to Ninja timeline, that would also be fairly contrived, because that would mean that he would have had to have assembled every person in the Akatsuki, got them their outfits and gear, and got them together as a team within a few days prior to the events of the movie. They would have formed all these friendships and, all these, duos that the Akatsuki normally has, and then just, switched sides against Obito and fought him at the end of the movie? I don't see that as the most likely interpretation, but some people will probably fight me on that. But it's up to you. During this climactic finale of the film, we see Menma fighting against Naruto, and stalemate even a Sage Mode Naruto, and then make him admit that KCM 1 wouldn't be enough to beat him. Menma also has access to his 9 Master Beasts that he controls individually, such like a Puppet Master in the Naruto-verse normally would. However, they each are designated with a symbol that matches the symbol on each of the Akatsuki's rings whenever they are summoned, signifying that Menma may have actually prepared these beasts specifically to deal with the Akatsuki, which would not be out of character, as he seems like a very prepared individual who, just casually one-shotted Konoha, can sap Jonin level opponents like Minato of all of their chakra, and is also an fully powered Jinchuriki. So it's not insane that he of an idea that he would specifically build a contingency plan for a group like the Akatsuki, especially if he foresaw that this scenario may come and the Konoha may hire the Akatsuki to go against him and Obito. After facing off against Menma for a bit, Naruto starts losing and begins to speak with Kurama inside of their mind space. In this conversation, Naruto reveals that he plans on using KCM-1 in order to fight against Menma, but Kurama tells him that it definitely wouldn't be enough. And in order to protect himself and Naruto, Kurama offers him a one-time offer to break the seal and temporarily have full access to his power, with just half of the full Nine Tails, on the field alongside Naruto. Naruto still has access to his normal huge chakra pool as well as Sage Mode, but Kurama being on the field doesn't seem to nerf Naruto's chakra much. So this is essentially a full-body Kurama like how Madara had against Hashirama, but is fighting alongside Naruto against Menma's 100% Nine Tails and all of his power. Only with a little bit of luck, getting Menma's stamina down and getting a really lucky slip punch is he even able to knock him down. It seems in the film like he might be knocked out, but he definitely doesn't die, as Obito is able to just jump into his body and possess him, and he even has his Sharingan, which may mean that this possessed version of Menma may have access to all of the Nine Tails chakra, as well as Obito's Kamui, which would be insanely broken. But I think that this version of him is slightly weaker, at least in terms of battle IQ, as he doesn't seem to perform as well after the possession as he did before. So think about it like this. Menma doesn't die, he only gets knocked out, and it took Sage Mode Naruto at full power, softening him up, summoning full Kurama, and then whatever mid-lamp you would think Naruto would get while he's trying to protect Sakura and his defenseless parents that have had all of their chakra sapped out of them. The film ends with a possessed version of Menma fighting against Naruto and replicating the shot of Minato doing the Flying Raijin level 2 on Obito during the Kurama invasion, but with Naruto replicating this feat through speed alone and not using the Flying Raijin technique, meaning that the comparisons that are made between Naruto and at this point in the series and the Yellow Flash are more than valid. After this point, Naruto and Sakura break the crystal ball containing Obito's jutsu, and his control over Menma is broken, sending Naruto and Sakura back to the main timeline and losing the black hair and darkness that Obito had over Menma. Now, a few things before we get on to any power scaling. I want to mention that there is an official Road to Ninja manga that was drawn by Masashi Kishimoto himself that was released alongside a volume of the manga and were re-released a couple of times later, such as with one of the data books. In this manga, we essentially see the same events that happen in the prequel episode of the anime, Prologue to Road to Ninja. And the opening art of the manga has a 2-page spread that invites the user to read the manga, watch the movie, and make the connections themselves, which, in my opinion, confirms that these events did happen in both the anime and the manga continuity, and this is a defined difference between the two. One of the most interesting things to me about this film is the use of a jutsu called the Limited Tsukiyomi, a jutsu that accesses another timeline entirely and controls some of the people within it to create the desires of some of the victims of the jutsu come to life. Obito is the one who casts this jutsu, but he only appears in ghost form throughout the film, except for during its intro. The prologue episode, which directly leads into the movie, features a scene where Naruto has a vision of the Limited Tsukiyomi world to Sasuke, prior to the events of the movie. Sakura also has her Road to Sakura episode, which I mentioned previously, where she switches places with her Archean self, proving that the Road to Ninja verse must have existed previously, while the main Naruto universe existed parallel to it. So, proving that in the Naruto multiverse, there is a Road to Ninja universe that is its own physical, separate timeline. Another implication that this could have on the Naruto continuity is that Sakura, prior to the war arc, would probably beat Tendo Pain by himself. Let me explain. In the film, she goes toe-to-toe at one point with Menma, and while not really being relative, she's not going to win, she tanks his punches, and this is Menma after being reinfused with the full power of the Ninetales. So this is Menma, whose normal strength, without any Ninetales chakra, was over Sage Mode Naruto, and maybe even KCM, because he was afraid that KCM 1 wasn't even going to be able to beat him. And then he infuses with the full power of the Ninetales and summons that onto the field. And then Sakura is able to take punches from that guy. So she might be able to box up Tendo Pain. In the film, we see that part of half of Menma's full chakra. So part of the Ninetales that he is splitting up to stalemate the Akatsuki is fighting against Pain and is actively stopping him from intervening in the Naruto versus Menma fight. And he is actually having to use some of his jutsu, like Almighty Push, in order to repel multiple of the puppets away at once. I should also mention that this is only shown to be the Tendo path of Pain. It's not all 6 paths of Pain. So even if this is to be a true scaling chain, we don't know how Sakura would truly perform against all 6 paths. So don't hate on me too much. I'm just bringing up an argument that could be made given the information in this movie. So in conclusion for this part of the video, I'm of the opinion that Naruto Road to Ninja may be on the same level of canonicity as Naruto the Last, as we have a manga canon adaptation of the prologue of the movie, as well as an anime canon adaptation of the prologue of the movie, both of which tell essentially the same events. Tenten's Infinite Tsukiyomi Dream in the anime directly connects to the Road to Ninja movie, and we don't know what Tenten's Infinite Tsukiyomi Dream truly was in the manga outside of one panel, which has enough similarities to the anime episode that it might also be the same. So, legitimately, Road to Ninja, the evil Naruto movie, might just be the second canon Naruto movie. Now, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe. I also have a video coming out real soon that is a power scale of Menma that I worked on with my boy October. We're basically going to go over just some of his power, how kind of where we think that he caps given the feats in this movie. It was just a nice little recording where we just kind of chilled out, talked about his feats. I think you guys are really going to like it. Make sure that you you like, subscribe, comment down below what you want to see me talk about next. There's more Dragon Ball stuff coming, probably some more superhero stuff coming. I'm really down to talk about whatever now that I'm monetized. Expect more streams too. Thank you guys. Have a great day.